Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 3rd of April for the Sun or the Ascendant. I'm going to give you some standout details that we can all collectively relate to, but please stay with me. I will then dive deep into each of the 12 zodiac signs from Aries through to Pisces. If you're a returning visitor, thank you so much for joining me once more. If you're new here, it's great to have you with us, and I'd be honoured if you'd subscribe. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. This is very much a community, so please share any thoughts you have. I do interact with each one. So as we come into this new week, Mercury, the planet of communication, which rules the sign of Gemini, but also the sign of Virgo, where its influence is much more to do with precision. Its move into Taurus is asking us to grapple with the foundations in our lives, especially the ones to do with everyday finance, I feel. But the second house energy of Taurus is also about how we feel about ourselves, our self-worth and our values. But it's clashing with the mighty but tiny Pluto almost straight away. So Monday through to Wednesday could see some tensions around a group situation or around a closer relationship where our values may not align quite as closely with somebody else, perhaps as much as we thought they had done, or any differences that have been there can come to the surface, can be revealed. Pluto often keeps things out of sight, so there could be some revelations in this early part of the week. But there's also, from Tuesday to Saturday, Mercury actually forges a very constructive link to Saturn. So if we can tap in to past experiences, knowledge and instincts, our instincts, in a positive way, that can help us to make the most of our resources. Also, Saturn is linking brilliantly this week to Mars, with both Mars in Cancer and Saturn in Pisces, two water signs. I think the provocative energy of Mars, it's not at its best in Cancer, of course, it's in a full. I think that's saying, look, it's okay to grapple with emotions and perhaps even be a little bit more vulnerable. So we could see some people opening up about their core values or opening up about their feelings. Also, from Wednesday to Sunday, a glorious link between Venus and Neptune is really quite idealistic. So if there's someone coming through in our situation who we really do admire and has the kind of qualities that we can really respect, this could be something that gives us a lot of uplift. The key to that particular aspect is not to have unrealistic expectations. But of course, relationships really come sharply into focus on the back of the full moon. For most people, this is going to occur on Thursday. For those people who live on the west coast of America, it is on Wednesday. But Chiron, the wounded healer, is very close to the sun, as is Jupiter. And I feel that there is an opportunity here for all of us to think again about the connections we have, to not necessarily just view things in binary terms of they're with us, they're not with us. Life has become so polarized. If you can see the nuances in situations and the experience of our journey through this existence that are really quite mutual, that's going to be something we can gain from this. But with Uranus forging a quincunx to the moon position, it could be that in some situations, differences over money or how it's spent or those values could be the part of the relationship which really does need some attention. Now, as this week draws to a close, Venus is forging a wonderful angle to Pluto. This really can help us to appreciate the very special alliances we have in our lives. And also a little bit of fortune is starting to bubble up, potentially, as the week draws to a close, as the Sun is approaching Jupiter in Aries. They're actually going to meet up in person, so to speak, next Tuesday. that will be when the aspect becomes exact. But this is one of the most fortifying of all planetary aspects in astrology. So if energy has been a little bit low, physical vitality, there's a lot of things that we're absorbing these days that can make us feel a little bit depleted. So I feel that there's an opportunity to feel a sense of uplift. But overall, this is a week which is asking us to engage with feelings and also the reality of our everyday resources and our need for security, and just feed that into how we're thinking about our need to get our own way, very Aries energy, against how we need to collaborate and connect to others, that Libran full moon. Please stay with me now as I dive deep with each of the 12 signs. But if you would like to ascend above this zodiac forecast, if you give me 3 pieces of personal birth data of time, date and place of birth, I can prepare for you your life roadmap report. This can help you to get a much more intimate understanding of the patterns that have played out in your existence so far. And also my special package of 30% off, you can order your 12-month personal forecast. Totally unique to you, just like your life roadmap report. And this can give searing insights of how to make the most of the upcoming months. If you don't know your time of birth, I have developed a new solar chart and forecast package, which also has 30% off. Please see the link below for more information on both. So Gemini, your week commencing the 3rd of April forecast suggests there's going to be something of a paradox unfolding for you this week. On the face of it, with the Sun moving towards Jupiter by the end of the week, that's giving you a lot of buoyancy around your long-term plans and some of the things that you may have instigated from the 21st of March with the Aries new moon, particularly around connecting to others, networking, may seem to be going pretty well on the face of it, but then Mercury, your ruler, moves at the start of this week into a more muted area, but it immediately clashes with Pluto. If there are any people around you who are not completely your allies, they could be revealed over the next few weeks, but not necessarily in a way that you might expect. So there could just be some politics swirling around you. So it may be best to keep your guard up a little bit. An irony of this is that Mercury actually forges a very constructive link to Saturn in your sector of success. And I feel that if you are planning something by doing a lot of deep dive research, really sifting through lots of different pieces of information to get to a place which gives you a basis from which to spring forwards from, that actually could be a very positive part of this week. Also, Mars is in your sector of everyday finance, also linking positively to Saturn. So some kind of job offer could actually be extremely constructive and very encouraging. But I feel the full moon really pushes back on some of the hopes you had, some of the high hopes you may have had from the time of that new moon. And the reason for it simply is because Mercury in the 12th house can be a bit of a doubting Thomas. And if you start to feel that not everybody is necessarily getting where you're coming from, could see you withdraw just when a lot of people may want a piece of you. It just may be that you're going to hear a few lone voices, but at a much higher volume, and that could get under your skin. So just be aware of that, because with Uranus in a quincunx with the full moon, which is a testing 150 angle, something that's been lingering for some while could come into the open, and it could be some resentment. But can't please all of the people all of the time. I think your time management will be important over the next 2 weeks from Thursday because of this full moon. There's going to be lots of invites. You need to, I feel, choose carefully which ones you agree to, because again, Mercury in the 12th house, it's possible that some people are not necessarily articulating to you or have yet to articulate to you some opposition they have, but it may just be simmering in the background. But despite that, the other side of the paradox is that something can still take a giant step forwards for you, particularly with the Sun closing in on Jupiter over Friday through to Sunday, and that reaches a peak on the following Tuesday. And that is one of the most influential aspects in astrology, and it can be pure out good fortune that drops for you around your connection. So what I feel that this week is basically about is that Mercury could see you doubt yourself or lose a little bit of confidence just when things are building up quite well, or you could take too much notice of one or two people who, quite frankly, are probably just darn right jealous of some other things that are manifesting for you. So keep your focus on the positive stuff, manage your time carefully, be conscious of who may be an opponent, even if they're not expressing it openly to you.